Everybody wants a dashboard. And if you want to build a visually stunning PowerApps application, I suggest you've got the home screen set up like a dashboard. I can't think of a better type of home screen that people would want than that. Um, Kurt, what is a dashboard? Do you have any thoughts on that at all? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Well, I mean, I guess it's a summary. If you want to know the official thing, it's a summary. But the unofficial
Okay.
thing, it's like it's all the oohs and ahs, right? It's what
It
makes your
is.
program really look. It makes your program look really cool.
It does.
Yeah, it's what you want something that's going to be attractive and bring attention to the data in a way that makes people want to come back to your program, right? Oh, I also just kind of want to put something out here. There's the elephant in the room right now. I did not pierce my nose. Let's see. Yeah, see that? Okay. My dog attacked me this morning.
Are
And
you
so
okay? I hear about all the dog all the time. Should I call up the sheriff there and maybe do a wellness check? Just do this if you're in trouble, okay?
right. So I just wanted to put that
I
out there.
don't
I'm
mean to make
sorry.
light of if that was serious. I mean,
No, it
but
wasn't. It was just
you know
it
us here.
was just
We're always cracking jokes at each other. We're always giving
yeah.
each other a hard time.
My little puppy tried to just beat me up. Right? I'm getting beat up by a little puppy, right? So it's funny.
You poor thing.
Anyway, I just back to the subject at hand though. But dashboards, it just seems like everybody wants a dashboard. Some people don't even know what a dashboard is. I think they just say, "I want a dashboard. I got to have a dashboard." So it's but I tell you what, in the official capacity though, it's really what summarizes all your data. You want a place that summarizes your data so that people can see a high level view of what's going on. How's that?
Absolutely. Look like Sandra's here from Florida. Okay, Sandra. Your name looks really familiar. Rebecca J from Texas. This is Matthew from the Discord in Texas. Very cool. And let's see what else we got. Love the idea of today's live. Absolutely, because guys, this upcoming week we're going to be doing a workshop on this. And what I like to do, or what I think is a good idea, is we go live and we sort of unpack it and we sort of cover the preliminary information, the overall, like maybe a high level. In the workshop, we dig in and hopefully have just full of practical exercises. So any thoughts you'd like to share, Kurt, about the workshops? And we had one just yesterday, and that one was interesting. So complex patching, and we were doing all kinds of stuff there, doing speed tests, and
Yeah, we learned a lot, didn't we?
I actually learned 2 or 3 things that came up, and then that's probably why you said that. But it's true. I learned a few things. I didn't write them down, but I'm sure they're in my head somewhere.
They're going to come back. They're going to come back up. It's just funny. Every time you go to try to show somebody something, you end up learning something more, right? If you want to learn something, teach it. That's the bottom line. And there's nothing like, I'm sorry, and there's nothing like learning in front of a group of people. When you got a whole bunch of people doing a workshop together, everybody's got something to bring to the table. So it's pretty neat.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we got a lot of comments. We got a lot of activity. So guys, this is a popular topic. I did a poll on the workshops. Number 1 was complex patching, which we had the workshop yesterday. We talked last Saturday about that for, I believe, about an hour or so. And then this was the next topic right underneath that one. So we got Bruno from Calvary, Joanne from Mauritius, and very cool. Somebody from Missouri, and we got our own Patty Love. Perfect timing. The boss just asked for. Well, this is great. This is great.
Now, I also want to let you know that I keep looking up. It's because I end up putting the restream up on one of my upper monitors because I got so much going on here today with stuff. So just want to let you know, if I'm looking up, it doesn't mean I'm not I'm looking at, I'm actually part of the thing. I'm not,
And that goes for me too. Sometimes I'm looking up too.
Yeah. And sometimes people think, well, he's not even really paying attention to me. He's up there looking up at his screens and everything.
But sometimes that's how I feel, Kurt, when I see your face and you're just like, you're on your phone or something. Maybe you do something super.
I'm old. Old people just look like that when they're not talking. I mean, it's just the way it is.
I know I do need to post a link in school so everybody knows, the link for this. But so, Kurt, you've prepared a few things to show us today. Now, what are charts besides just a bunch of graphs and?
Well, okay, so I want to, in the interest of dashboards and in the interest of a workshop that we've got coming up next week on dashboards, I guess, we taught, you just brought up the chart word, to me, that a picture says 1,000 words. It's just another way of doing a report. Oftentimes when we're looking at PowerApps, we're thinking of the data, we're thinking of pretty screens, we're thinking of buttons and menus and text boxes and input stuff and check boxes and whatnot, right? But really, we need to start thinking about the end from the beginning. And the whole reason why we're even writing a PowerApps is because we're trying to I'm trying to position my things, my screen, so it's not like looking up all the time. Sorry guys about that. So it's about the reports. The whole purpose of having a Power App in the first place is to be able to access the data and make sense of the data. First of all, you got to get the data in there. That's what I love about Power Apps. You're getting it in there, you're validating it, you're getting it in there clean. But in the end, the whole reason why we do all this work is so that somebody who is a stakeholder in your program, it might be your boss, it might be a CEO of the company, it might be the president of the United States. Who knows who's going to be looking at your data? So it's all about showing them what they need to see at any given moment of any given day. Okay. So, and it's got to be shown in a way that they need it right now, and so
repeat that, that statement. I like that. I want to type that up here.
Okay. I don't even know what I said.
Oh my goodness, Kurt. There's the smile.
Let me slow down. Let me slow down a little bit. Okay. Go ahead. It looks like a piercing nose.
Are all about ... As Kurt was saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So did you want me to try to remember what I said, or?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. Let's see. So it's dashboards are all about presenting data to the people who need to see the data in a way that they need to see it at any given moment at any given day.
Oh, you got to go slower, man.
Okay.
I'm going to bring on somebody that's going to help us out. Rick, anything that Kurt says, I want your mind to grab it like a steel trap, and be able to repeat it back slowly. So Kurt just said dashboards are all about presenting data to the people who need to see the data in a way that they need to
see it at any given moment at any given day.
Okay. Now, I'm going to run Rick GBT through this. Rick, paraphrase that for me.
He lost me after dashboard.
Okay. So
no, it's good. I'm just
so on a serious note, though, it's just really important for us to be able to. The whole goal of our Power App is so that people can see a report. And oftentimes we almost never talk about reports. We almost never do. And there's lots of different kinds of reports. You got your lists of things, and you got your summary reports and blah, 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 Skippy, right? But the thing is pictures. I like to see things in pictures. And I believe most people do. I believe that most people can make sense of a visual picture more than just a bunch of lines of numbers and letters, And so, and if you got color within that and you got it arranged in such a way that makes sense to people right away, it catches their eye. I think that makes people love your program. And what, Darren, makes a good program?
If it gets used, and also if you create a good program that's being used, and people will start asking for more stuff. They might actually overwhelm you with, oh, can you do this? Oh, and they're getting all excited about what you're able to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a sign of a good program. So it's just as simple. You said it. It's just that simple. If people are using your program, that's what makes a good program. If your program is good, if people are using your program, it's a good program. So it's and then if the sign is how you can tell if your program is a good program is if people ask you to do more. A lot of times I hear system developers and programmers, they say, they just keep asking me for all this stuff, man. They're just never happy. I can't make them happy. No, it means that you did a good job. It means you did a great job, and they want you to do more, because the alternative to that is they don't ask you to do anything more. Then what? Then you're not doing anything. So that means that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So enjoy that, embrace that, it just means you did a good job. Good work always means more good work. It's just the bottom line. I don't, whatever company it's in, I've worked for, whatever job I've done, if I do good work, I'm going to get more good work, So, and that means if there's overtime out there, they're going to give it to you because you're the one that does the good work, So, people know that. And so when they see these dashboards, I believe making charts is a big deal. Now, charts, it just seems like that's something that you never hear of synonymous with PowerApps is charts. When you think of charts, you think of Power BI. Everyone wants to go to Power BI. And I love me some Power BI. I do. But I also love me a program that can get everything done inside of my program. One thing I absolutely can't stand is integration. And Microsoft tries pretty hard to make things integrated, but I don't like having to integrate things to go into other software if I don't have to. And I want to just contend that we can make some pretty cool dashboards with some pretty cool charts right here in PowerApps, but we just have to know how to do it. We just have to know how to handle it, So you got any questions about what I've said so far, Darren? You got anything you want to put in there? Any comments, Rick?
I'll throw something out there. You're talking about how, people putting input or giving you input to add more stuff or to change or whatever. I think we've all probably used apps before when we started out that was, great at first, but because it didn't change or it didn't develop, or, add the things that were needed, you just kind of put it to the wayside. And it no longer became a good app because it was, it was no longer useful. And so when you make these changes and things like that's on there, that's a great thing because as you said, that means people are still excited about your app and ready, for the next iteration of it and looking forward to it. I mean, every day I'm always checking, updates and stuff on my current apps that I have. What did they add and things like that on there. So, hey, just stay. Just because you throw an app out there doesn't necessarily mean that it's done and complete right there. You can always make improvements and things like that on there that gets people excited and keeps them wanting to go back to your app over and over again.
Absolutely.
And by the way, I'll go back to what you just said. Yeah, pictures and graphs. That's going to grab your attention right away. It's just cool.
Absolutely.
It's just like, that's many people are visual learners and things like that. And so if you can add those kinds of things like that, they're going to gravitate toward that.
Yep.
And when I open something, I notice those things. Probably the first thing is one of the first things I'll notice is stuff like that, So yeah, absolutely. And if we can do that in PowerApps, that's just all the more, makes it better.
It does.
Yeah.
So, we got some comments going on here. Now, look, guys, I am not poo-pooing Power BI. I think Power BI does some crazy good stuff. And I'm saying that if you want to make some crazy good looking charts and get down that Power BI, okay. But if you just want something that's going to be a basic report, you can make a nice looking dashboard in PowerApps. And I guess that's what we're here to try to address is, yeah, maybe we can do that without having to go to Power BI. I just kind of wanted to put that out there because I do think Power BI is all designed for the report, right? It's all designed for that. So now I don't want to go into too much detail about Power BI, but there are some downsides to that too. Power BI's got some serious licensing issues, just like PowerApps does. and oftentimes they're not, if you got the super license for PowerApps, you don't have the super license for Power BI. You don't necessarily. So maybe you got to buy both, and then that's a pain in the butt, right? So sometimes it's just easier to deal with your clients if you say, hey, yeah, I can get that thing done right here in PowerApps. They're going to love you for that, maybe. Okay. So shall we make something like I got an idea. So in my history of teaching, Darren will probably recognize this. I used to have a fictitious company called the We Cheat 'em and Gouge 'em Stock Company. It was a company that bought and sold stocks. And of course, it was We Cheat 'em and Gouge 'em, so it's funny. My nose looks like I pierced my nose. It's over here. It's like just looks like I always wanted a pierced nose. So let's see. So anyway, let's imagine that we have a table there that just does sales. And so the first thing you've got to think about in a dashboard or in any report is the data. And oftentimes what we've got to do is we've got to shape our data. So it's got to start there. If we're going to do that, we got to start there. Now I'm going to go ahead and create a dashboard. Can we share my screen?
Yes, please.
Okay, here I come.
That's on you.
All right. Yeah.
Jason Smith says you don't want to have to go to 3 different places to get your information. So having good knowledge management practices in place to keep everything in the same location is key. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nobody's got
now
time.
Go ahead. There's lots of aspects with dashboards too, and I don't know. I'm going to talk about some charting aspects of it. So let's just build something really quick. Of course, nothing's really quick in for me, but we want to be able to talk about it. So I understand that too. But let's go ahead and just throw a button on the screen here, and we're going to name that. We're going to put some text in there called create data. Okay, so we're just going to create some data in here. I'm going to go ahead and open this thing up. Now, we're going to do some pretend stuff here. We're going to pretend that we've got some persistent data out there, and we're going to create a collection out here called we'll call it sales. It's our COL sales. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do a for all. Now I'm just going to go ahead and try to. I'm going to kind of talk about this a little bit as I'm going. We won't pick at the code here too much because this is all about just getting the data in. I will explain it once we get it all laid out. I'll try to explain a little bit as I'm going, and then once I get it all laid out, we'll try to make sure we understand what I was doing with that data. But then from that point, I want to get into the actual building of some charts and stuff. So, but we got to have this, and I thought it's kind of a good way. I wanted to show a practice that I use too in this. Oftentimes, somebody wants some kind of they want to know if it's something can be done, or maybe you just need to talk about something in the moment. Well, I don't have a database table set up, and I don't want to go out there and have to create a database table for it. So I like to build a collection in memory and just use that as my data source, So I wanted to show that process a little bit too. So we're going to build a small table. It's going to probably have 10 records in here. Maybe whatever, we'll think about that, but I think just 10 records will be good. For now, we'll just do 10. And I'm going to do a with here because I want to use a random number, and I want to be able to use that random number in more than one place. So I'm going to try to store that, and I'm going to store that in a with statement or a with level scope variable. We'll call that my number. And I'm going to do a round down of a random number that I generate times 3. plus 1 because because it's random, 0 to 1, but not 1. The random number will come up with any number between 0 and 1, or the random number generator, the rand function, I should say, will come up with any number between 0 and 1, includes 0, but it won't include 1. There's something else I was just thinking about as I'm going through here. I think I need to build another table. I want to build a table that's got my stocks. The company's got stocks. So I'm going to go over here to my formulas section over here. I think that's what I want to do. And I'm going to go ahead and create a table out here called TBL stocks. Not sticks, stocks. Rick, quit making fun of me, man.
Grammarly.
Yeah, and we're just going to use a simple table function here. And I'm going to create records. Create a couple records. Let's see. Let's start right there. We'll this is not something I do very well. I'm sorry, guys. I hope I'm not too slow for you.
You're doing great, man.
One. And name. I could talk in front of 1 million people, but I can't type in front of one. That's what I always tell you. We're gonna have three stocks. The We Cheat 'em and Gouge 'em stock company right now only sells 3 stocks. We specialize in 3 stocks. We're gonna do Windows Wonder World, Freddy's Fast Food, and Bob's Big Burgers. Those are the stocks that we sell.
Hey, all right.
Okay. Windows Wonder World. And let's see, that'll be that one, right? Then we'll come down to here and this one, and I'm going to say an ID. We're going to make that 2. Now this is all important. This is our data. This is the data that we're going to be shaping at some point here. This will be called Freddy's Fast Food. And I think that will kill the table there. We'll do an ID, and we'll make that 3. We're going to do another name and make this Bob's Big Burgers. Okay. I think that's pretty good. And we got to put a doolally at the end of it, semicolon. That's Kurt terminology for a doolally. So we've got a table out there called stocks, table stocks, and it's just going to have 3 stocks, and it's got an ID and a name. And that's what we're going to use to construct our stuff here in the moment. So I've got this with statement back to our regular scheduled program here. I'm going to go back here to my with, and I'm going to finish this thing out. I think I need to, looking at it, I think I got a problem. There it is. That fixes that. So I'm going to come back down here. Collect. I'm going to do a collection of sales. We're going to create our table here. And let's see, go back here. That'll work there. That's the end of my collection. I like to put my brackets and stuff in so that way I don't forget them, because otherwise I will,
Me
That's what
too.
I always do. So let's see, we're gonna go ahead and start off. Let's see, we'll do data sale. That's the hardest one right here, I think. Data sale, because this is all gonna be fictional stuff. I'm just putting in a bunch of random stuff in here. Okay. So I got data sale. Somebody asked me, somebody said to me one time, well, you don't hardly ever use rand. I'm like, I use it all over the place. This is why I do it. So I'm gonna do a text. I'm gonna do a text on a date add function, and I'm gonna take a date value from that, and I'm gonna seed that with some month. We're just gonna do a month. I'm just gonna use March. We'll go back to March 03, 01, 2024. And I'm going to do a round. Oop. Oh, my goodness. Of a rand. Yeah, I love this intelligence. It just gets in your way.
I think Matt and Rick are staying at the same hotel.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
Look at them. Maybe the guys could, looks like you got the same room too. It looks like you're same the angle of the pool and everything.
Are you guys beside each other?
No, he hadn't said a word to me.
Times 30. I'm going to round that to 0. And I'm going to make another line. Let's see. So now I got to do the date. Okay, so I'm going to do a date value. So this is going to be time unit. Time unit. I'm going to do days. And I'm going to do a date time format of that, because that's the text. Dot short date. So that puts that in that one. And then, oh boy. I'm going to stop name. Do a lookup of our table that we created in the formula. Am I going too slow or too fast or anything? We're doing all right?
You're perfect.
Okay.
Now, Rick may not agree.
Yeah, you're going fine. As long as you spell it right.
Like I said, I'm gonna explain this in just a minute. I'm just kind of trying to formulate this code first here.
I see Matt's face. I know he's building a Power BI report right now that he's going to try to pebble snatch at Kurt. You just watch.
I'm okay. Look, I'm okay. If you want to go ahead and make this about Power BI, we can. But
no.
Okay. We're gonna build dashboards in PowerApps, and I'm just gonna do a simple little thing here that you guys. And I'm hoping what happens is you'll see what I did here, and you'll use your guys' own imagination and make this thing just go crazy. You'll take what I did here today, and you'll go out there in your world and just make some fantastic dashboards. Because I'm just going to show you some basic stuff, but it's out there, it's simple. But the funny thing is about these charts, there's just not a lot of information about it out there. It's just not. So there are some things about the charts that I wish they would make better, but I just feel like they're not going to do anything more developing with those charts. I don't know. I hope they do, because I just think it's a powerful thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, so back where was I at? Okay, so I got a data sale. I got a stock name. I need to get a price. And I'm going to go ahead and just put a fictional price in here. We're going to round of a rand. I'm going to put another random number in here. times 100.
Would you be able to zoom in, and maybe bring the code window down so we could see more of what you're doing there?
Bring the code window down. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, we can only see 5 lines of code right now.
Thank you. That's all I got right now, but it might get worse, right?
If you could zoom in one more time.
Okay.
On the browser.
Go to 175.
Yeah.
Will that help you?
That looks great.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, it doesn't do you any good to do all this if people can't see it, right?
That's right.
That's the bottom line here. I've learned that with this IntelliSense, if I hit escape and enter, that's how I can get around it.
Oh, really?
So hit escape and then hit enter, and you can make a new line. that's been my thing.
I tried that, and then it took my caret or my is that a caret or a cursor? What's the difference between a caret and a cursor?
The
You know that?
cursor
Kurt?
is
One of
mouse,
them you
the
chew,
carrot
and the
is
other one I hope you don't.
What'd you say, Kurt? I did.
I said one of them you chew, and the other one I hope you don't. You know.
Okay. Now, Matt, were you saying something?
I was saying the cursor is your mouse, but the caret is a symbol. It's a text symbol.
That blinks in the text editor. Is that called a caret?
Oh, the blinking line. I think that's
Yeah,
a placeholder, right?
So,
Or I'm not
back
sure.
at my first job, my mentor told me that was a caret, but
bless his heart.
he's probably
Yeah.
forgotten more stuff than mere.
Well, yeah, that's what
mortals
happens when
do.
you get old. You know.
Maybe
Okay,
the
so
name,
I have the stock name, the price, the quantity, and I like to make sure that so this is an important thing. When you're you're generating a random number that's going to come up with a key, like an ID or something, and you're filling up random numbers. I like to see what that random number generated is. So that's it. And I'm going to put that, and since I'm doing this in a collection, it doesn't cost me anything. It's not like I got to store it out there in persistent data or anything. So this is like a trick. There's no extra charge, guys. This is something that's good to know. Now, I've got a lot of random numbers out here, and I'm not doing that for every random number, but I'm doing that for the ID, because the random number that's generating the ID, I want to make sure that I'm hitting good data. Even if it's fictional data, when I'm mapping it, I want to make sure it's right. So I like to have that out there just for a debug. It's a good debugging tool. So I just stick this out here. I'm going to call this generated number, so we can kind of see what happens with that. And I'm going to use my number, which is the same number that I've got up here in the with statement, and I got it over here in this my number. I'm storing it in my stock name. Okay. So I've got that. That closes the collect. That closes the with. That closes the for all. There, that's it right there. I'm happy with that. So let me just run this through one time. You know what? Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and put my clears in here.
this is magic.
Well, it hasn't ran yet, so we're going to see.
Well, the fact that you're able to declare variables inside this thing is still
Yeah.
Still
The width. So we've got three levels. We've got three levels of scoping in PowerApps. You've got your global level, which Darren and I we warn against that. Use it cautiously and use it sparingly. Only when you absolutely have to. It's kind of like having water in the desert. And then we have the form level, or what we call local variables. Okay, but those are as local as you can get. We have the width scope. Now, my number is, if you look at this, just real quick, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole too long, but I think it's important. This with statement has brackets in it, just like a record does, right? Also, just like update context. The only difference between a with statement and an update context function is one more parameter. And that is the parameter is the second parameter of the with statement is the actual code that you're going to place that variable is going to be alive in. So it's only going to see my number inside of this curly bracket right here, or not curly bracket, but this parenthesis. That's the only place where my number is going to exist. So that scope is even more local and more cheap than a local variable, a screen level update context variable. So it's pretty cool. Just kind of wanted to put that out there. So I'm doing a for all, which gives me 10 records. We could make that 20 if I change that. And then we've got this with statement, which is doing a round down of this random. And I'm using round down because sometimes I run into a problem with including zero, and it'll make it. It'll go up to four on me because I'm going to add one to this. Okay, and I don't want to do that. So I want to round down and make it zero if it needs to be, and then I will go ahead and add one to it. Okay, because remember, random gives you zero and it includes zero, but it doesn't include one. So it's a little tricky. So I do a round down when it matters. When it matters, I do a round down. When it doesn't matter, I just do a round. And that's what I'm doing over here. I've got a random number here with this text. Now, this is some cool stuff. This date value is a pretty good it creates a date out of any text that you put in there. And then this date add, I'm just going to go ahead and add whatever number comes up here between 1 and 100, or 0 and 100 actually. And then I'm going to put that in the date sale. So I'm going to generate a random number. I'm going to go ahead and randomly go out there and buy stocks based on this my number here, this random number up here, a random price, and then I'm going to be a random quantity. Everything's random here. So let's see if it runs. Let's go see what happens here. So we run this thing, we collect it. It's all done running. Let's go ahead and see what's in there. Make sure we've got it. We go into collection sales. Oh, I guess I got to bring my.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a pain. You know what I wish I could do with PowerApps is utilize more than one screen. Maybe have the coding window on one screen and all the visual stuff on the other. That would be great.
that would be cool. Okay, so if I come down here, you'll see I've got. Now you can see I got data in here. Let's see. Can I? Boy, let me do this one more time. And click it on again. I'm going to get good at this by the time I'm done. So I've got dates here that are going to be all in March. So we're going to make a report in March. And I can't, this thing. Do it again here. There we go. And now I've got my name, Bob's Burgers. It looks like I've got 10 records in here. You'll see my generated number. It's either 1, 2, or 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Prices, quantities. It's all good. So I got data. This is our sales. This is the Wheat, Cheatham, and Gougeham Stock Company sales for March. Okay. And what we want to do is we want to generate a report from that. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and generate a report. Let's see.
Let's do it.
The thing of it is, yeah. Okay, I want to talk about shaping data before I go. Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah, let's do that. See? Okay. Let's generate a little bit more data. All right, let's do this. Because sometimes, this is probably the most important. I said all that stuff I said before to get to this point right here. Oftentimes when you're dealing with reports, and I don't care if it's a written report or if it's a chart, you're going to have to present that data in a different way than the way that is stored usually. Like we have a persistent table out there called the sales table, but we're going to have to shape our data. Now, this is what the Power BI tool is used. They got Power BI's got some pretty cool data shaping tools out there. But in programming, and if you're going to be an app developer and a good programmer, you need to be able to know data very well to the point where you can actually shape your own data. Okay, so that you can put it into your own reports and have it make sense. So that you don't have to go to the Power BI people to do that. And the Power BI people can love you because they can go ahead and they get their time back because your program is doing their work for them. And Mark Cloak down here in the chat says, the key to the chart is the shaping of the data. And you know why Mark knows that? You know why Mark knows that?
Why does Mark know that?
Because he did Lab 3. And he struggled with that. And he did it. And he did a great job, man. He did a great job.
So, by the way, guys, you may not know this, but the Accelerator students, we have a whole, we have a set of practical labs and exercises, and Kurt has created some. He's laid some golden eggs there for us. And Lab 3, you went over collections and charting and all this stuff all in Lab 3. It blew me away what you did there. I was impressed.
Well, thank you. As long as you're impressed, Darren, I'm okay. And as long as Rick and Sammy, I see Sammy's out there. As long as Sammy and Patty and all you guys are impressed, I'm good. Rick says, whatever. I'm glad you're feeling better too, Rick, by the way.
I am. I'm getting there.
I can tell. You sound a lot better. Okay, so I'm going to do another for all loop because I'm going to create a collection from our persistent data. We're pretending that collection sales is persistent data. And we're going to go out here and create this collection, a real collection, not a pretend one. And it's just going to have 3 records in it because we have three stocks, right? And I'm going to go ahead and put 3 there. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Collect. I'm going to call this line chart. This is going to be for my line chart. I'm going to create a line chart with this. It's going to be a really cool one too, guys. You're going to love it. I promise. I promise.
Patty says she's super impressed.
Okay. Okay.
Everybody knows that's the person. We got.
And I know Sammy is. I know
that?
I know Sammy's impressed because you know why I know that?
Why is that?
He's a Dallas Cowboy fan. Unfortunately, right, Sammy? Unfortunately. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go back to TBL stocks. That's our table we created in our memory. The ID equals the value, which is of the sequence up there. And we're going to take the name field of that. And then we're going to put a comma there. I'm going to go ahead and make another line. And we're going to call this total sales. Okay, I'm going to do a text of the sum. I'm going to do a summary. What are we summarizing? We're going to filter based on that, what sequence we're in. Filter of the persistent data call sales, where the stock name. I love it when IntelliSense comes up like it's supposed to. And then I'm going to do a lookup here. TBL stocks, comma, ID equals value. And we're going to take the name of that. That kills the filter. Okay. Then I got to do the what am I summing, right? What am I summing? I'm going to be summing the quantity times the price. Both of those are randomly generated as well. That's the end of my sum. And then I'm going to format that text to make it look somewhat pretty. And I've got a video out here on PPC. This is how I like to format my dollar amounts, my currency.
What's PPC?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Darren. That's our personal pocket coaching offering that we have, and it is a collection of videos that it's a collection of videos that are just amazing. It ends up being a reference for us, right? That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'll share a link to that if anybody's interested in knowing more about that. And
yeah, I mean, if you wanted to talk about it a little bit, that's fine too. You know,
Brock says, blows me away how easy this coding is to Kurt. So much information in the head of his. Well, guys, the guy used to program an assembler in C++. So just.
But you know, I appreciate that. I really do. But you know, it's so funny because I get hung up on some of the dumbest stuff though. I mean, I'll be like, I can't make this work. Well, Kurt, you're supposed to add the 2 numbers together, not divide them. Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean,
you forget to carry the 1 sometimes, right?
I just don't know how many times Darren's had to come in here and look at my code and say, well, Kurt, it's just right here. And I feel like I'm just a beginner. And I'm the guy that taught him how to program. But yet he's going to show me. It's just funny how it works, you know.
Well, I remember one time it was when I was working with you, and I actually lived fairly close to you at the time.
Yeah.
And you're like, Scooter, get over here. I want you to look at this. And I came over, and as you're explaining it, and this thing opens, instantiates this class right here. I'm like, bring that up, and you brought it up, and they were all stubs. There were method signatures, but there was no code inside. And I didn't figure it out, but just the act of you sort of showing me the problem, I don't know if
Right.
you remember that. But.
I do remember that. But yeah, you get hung up. Sometimes you guys are going to see it too. You're going to lay some brilliant code, and it's just going to come out of your mind like peanut butter. Just boom. But then the next time you're going to get stuck up on the dumbest thing, and you're going to think that you don't deserve to be even programming. You don't know how many times I go, I don't deserve to program anymore. I needed to get me a job. I don't know, shoveling something, because I sure can't. I can't program my way out of a wet paper bag, And then the next day I'll lay some code, and Darren will go, "Oh, Kurt, what did you do?" And then it's like, I am a god. Don't ever talk to me.
Yeah.
And there's no in between, right? There's no in between. It's you're either a hero or you're a zero. There isn't anything in between there.
Hero or zero.
Yeah, for real. I get that. I had a study buddy in college, and luckily for us, it would alternate when we would, because we're taking like 3 programming languages at the same time. So we're learning, Java and Python and whatever else. And so on his, he'd be the hero and I'd be the zero, and then in a different class at a different chapter, it'd be the other way around.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got data. Now we've got our report table sitting here. See, we just shaped our data. We took this whole mess of data over here and call sales. You see all this? We got price and quantity, and we got the stock name over here and the dates. And then what I've done in this one is I created another table out here to shape our data, and we just want summary data now. This is going to go into some of our reports. Now, what is that up there? That looks like a chart up there. What is that up there, Darren?
You like that? You like that, Kurt?
Show off. Okay,
well,
so
I just want to give people a visual. Now, this is not anything better than what you have, because what I'm showing here is simply the 3 chart controls that you have available to you in PowerApps, and that's all I did is I just dropped them on a form.
Yeah, and it gives you sample data. And that sample data in there is really important, and we'll be explaining that in just a little bit.
Very good.
So, but here's the coolest. I just thought it was neat that you had that up there. That's a good idea, Darren. Thank you for that. So you got three good looking charts out there. That do a lot of the work for you. So we're going to see that. So anyway, so now we've got this summarized data. So I've taken all that data that we had in our sales table out there, and I've put it into this report format that shows our total sales for each company or for each stock that we sell. Okay. And now we're ready to do some reporting. So let's go ahead and create the first thing I want to do. I really like these guys. If you want to set up a dashboard and make it look like ooh and ah, oohs and ahs. And see, you got to be careful about what you're putting into oohs and ahs, right? Because if you're putting oohs and ahs in there where the user has to do a lot of pointing and clicking, those oohs and ahs are going to go away after about the 3rd time they use it. They're going to be going hissing at you. They're going to be hissing on you like a house cat.
They will find out where your cube is at. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah. They will be spitting and hissing because they're going to say, you're making me point and click 1,000 times a day more than what I normally do, And so this is a cheap ooh and ah here that people are just going to go, oh, wow. Okay. And I'm just going to put a container in here. I'm going to get a container. Let's just put that thing right here. Right here. And we'll make it about there. And now this is where Darren's a lot faster than me.
No.
That's okay. You get what you pay for, Darren. That's all I got to say. Okay. I'm teasing you, man. I'm teasing you. So he says, "No, I pay too much." All right, so this is what we do here. Now, the cool thing about this container is we've got this drop shadow down here, and
Coffee.
yeah,
You can recover Kurt from his. I think I just gave you a raise, if I'm not mistaken, for about the price of a cup of coffee. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, about price. Okay, but that's okay. You know, I'm building this thing one cup of coffee at a time.
Oh, he's using the old school newspaper rules where he gets paid by the word. That's what it is.
Shut up, Matt. Okay. He didn't know that. He didn't know. Okay. So down in here, we have this thing called charts. And I'm going to go ahead and just bring a line chart in here. And I'm going to put it inside of my container. Because I just like the way, if you try to put a border, let me try to show you something. If you try to put a border around this chart control right here, it does some weird stuff. It's going to try to put borders around everything that's inside of that. And I don't want borders inside of that. And you can't control it. You can't just take the borders off of one of those things. So I just say, you know what? Fine. We're just going to keep no borders on there. And I'm going to put the borders around. My container is going to be the border. Isn't that smooth? Trick. It's pro tip.
I like it. Picasso.
Pro tip. Okay. So it's what's neat about this also is with this line chart, if we look at items, the items property, we should have, if I click on that, you see we've got this line chart sample data. And the reason why I said that this is important, this sample data is good to have, is it tells you how this chart is expecting to see the data coming in. So we see this chart. So in order to use the chart, we've got to be able to see what we got to be able to put our data. We can't shape the chart to the data. We have to shape the data to the chart. So we look at our data, we look at the chart, and we see how do we got to make our data fit into that chart. And Mark Cloak said it earlier. The secret to the charts is shaping your data to the chart. That's the secret. So you'll see here we've got city, density, and population. And then it gives us an example right here. You see we've got cities across here. Down below, that's our x-axis, our legend. Let's show that for a second here. If we go to this line chart, we come over here to advanced. You'll see down here your labels. You see your labels are city. Now, if we change that to area, look at that. It changes. It'll put the area numbers down there. So I can't even talk. We're using city as the legend. And then you've got your series labels. Now we've only got one series across here, and that's area. And you'll see that it's a green color. I don't like that. You know what? Let's go do something else. I don't like these colors at all. So let's go over here to our app, and we're going to go back to our formulas. And let's create another formula. Let's create an FX legend colors. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and equals, and I think I can do this. Let me see if I can get away with it. Color.red, comma color, oh boy, color.blue, comma color.green. That just gets us away from what's being used right there. And put my doolally there. And yep, we're good. Now, if I say this FX legend colors, I should be able to come down here to my chart now. Chart 1. If I come down here, I believe it's down here. It should be series. Oh, we got a number of series, one item color set. That's what it is right there. Now look at this. This is what comes with it. And these are all the different RGBA colors to handle the different series.
Wow.
Okay, series is, and there are shades of green and stuff in there, and I just don't like it. So what I do is I just comment it out because I don't like to get rid of code, right? I don't like to get rid of code.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to keep it in there, and I'm going to put my own in here. FX Legend Colors, and look at that. We've got one series here, and it's red, and that's our first. It's our first color.
Would you mind hitting run just for a moment, and then use that zoom it tool that we have, the control one?
I don't have it set up on my computer.
Oh, okay.
Darren. I'm sorry. I wish I did. I forgot until you just said it.
Yeah.
I had to do a reformat, and yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Brock was asking if we could. So could you tell us what those little labels at the bottom of the chart say?
Okay, can I zoom out a little bit? Maybe that'll help while I'm running it. Does that help a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Something that I can do is I can move us down a little bit. Okay, so Tokyo, Shanghai, Seoul, New York City. So these are major cities in the world. That's what that
right.
is.
Okay. That's right.
Cool.
And when I was showing, boy, I tell you what, it's never easy, is it?
Nope.
It's just never easy. What I was showing was down here in our advanced properties. Well, I thought it was in there. Oh, I got to be in the thing there. There we go. How about now? Where's my data at? Oh, there. I wasn't up high enough. The label, this is city labels. So it's using the city. I think I showed this when you were gone, Darren.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So anyway, so we have that. So I've changed the colors, and we've managed the colors by putting that in. I want to show that one more time. If I come over here to, it should be series colors, item color set. That's what it was. And I could put whatever colors I want in there. It's just an array of colors it's expecting. And it's to handle the number of series that you got. We'll be seeing that come into play here in a little while, maybe. Okay, so let's see, where do we go from here? Let's talk about this chart now. So I've got, right now we're just using in the items property, I'm just using their line chart sample. So let's go ahead and use ours. And what I want to do is I want to put in the collection of sales, the summary that we did, that the data that we shaped, COL line chart, and we called it COL line chart because it's a line chart. And you'll see right here that I've got this is actually representing the different stocks that we're selling here, and it's drawn a line representing that. If I shape my data more, look at that. Oh, you know what I didn't do? You know what I didn't do?
What didn't you do?
I should only be getting 3. I should only be getting 3.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay.
The reason why is because I didn't do a clear data. See, it's not as, what did I do? COL line chart. I need to clear that. I need to do a clear of COL line chart. There. Now I should only get 3. Because it just collects. It doesn't care. But you'll see every time we run this, because it's random, it's going to be different values coming in there. Now, let's talk about this. This is kind of cool. See this x-axis here? It's I guess it's the x-axis. This is pretty neat. I'll get to the right thing. If I go to properties now, see this X label angle? Let's do this 45 degrees. We can shift it and make it sideways.
Oh, wow.
We can make it 0. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Very nice. The thing I don't like about it, of this chart control, is that this label I can't change. You see how it's got these dots in there? It's programs. I don't know how to change it. I've not been able to find a way to do it yet. But it will take it, and you can. It changes the font for you and everything based on the size of your chart. So if I expanded that chart, let's see if I took this thing and I made it really big. to span across my whole screen. And I get this whole thing. You see, I get more of the label. Now let me zoom back out so that you can see that better. Can you guys see that better?
Yeah, and I'll adjust us so it goes even bigger. There you go.
Yeah. So now,
what don't you like about it?
Okay, see how it's got Windows Wonder World and it's got ellipsis there?
Oh, the ellipsis.
And Freddy's Fast Food, and it just cuts off because it assumes that you don't have room for everything. And instead of allowing me to change things, it makes it harder to do. Now, what I could do is for my labels, I could do some programming in that maybe. And that's exactly what I could do. You know what? I could do that. I'm not going to do it today, but here you go, Mark. Extra credit. So what I could do is I could hang another column off the side of this collection called legend name, and I could actually do an abbreviation. I could shorten it up somehow so that it'll fit in my chart, and then I can use that. So that way I don't have to have that ellipsis. But some people, a lot of you guys might not even notice that those the ellipsi were even there unless I said something, So,
yeah.
Okay, so we have the angle there. I thought that was neat. Now we have this other thing called, let me get this back to where it needed to be here. Let's get this back to small again, because I've got things I want to do. I got stuff for you guys today. I really do. I hope we can get through some of this because it's going to be neat. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Oh my goodness. The other thing about this chart that I don't like is that it's kind of in a group and you can move everything around. You can really get.
What happened? What happened? I can't do my work.
Yeah.
That's a movie that Rick showed me called Mighty Wind.
A Mighty Wind.
Okay.
You got to check it out.
Okay.
So what did happen, Kurt? Things just got rearranged there?
Yeah. I moved the wrong thing. It's kind of like that time when I went in there and messed with your relative placed gallery, and I clicked on and I fouled up all your gallery, and you ended up spending about a half an hour fixing my mess. And boy, he was mad too. Woo!
Was he? Oh, it's not.
He just shamed me. Oh, he shamed me to death. I was just so full of shame by the time I got done. Okay, so then we're gonna call this title shame. He's got a shame stick out there. Total stock sales.
That's from Game of Thrones, but
yeah, okay.
Which is not rated G, by the way. I just want to.
I've never seen it, so I don't know. And let's put some stuff on. Let's get that 20. I like bold. That looks pretty good, I think. And then I want to see. So in this properties chart, we have all kinds of cool stuff. You got grid style. You could do like you got your labels. See this all? Can you guys see this? Okay. Do I need to blow anything up over here? Do I need to bring it back? I think I do.
Yeah.
You get back
Maybe
to 150.
125. Yeah.
Okay. So this grid style. Now watch this. Now you guys are gonna be able to read this stuff. But I can put none. So I got no stuff there. I could do X only, or I could do Y only. I like to do all. I think it looks nice. And then we have the number of series. That means, so if I wanted to plot not only the price or the total sales, let's say I had other fields in there called like quantities. I could do different values based on that as well. So I think that covers most of the cosmetics there. I want to go into the advanced section here now, real quick.
If you don't mind, up on your browser with the ellipses or the ellipsi, click on that. Now, right beside the plus, that's right beside the 150, there are these diagonal arrows. Click on that diagonal arrow. So that got rid of your taskbar, got rid of the URL bar and your bookmark bar. So that's a full screen thing. How about
Does
that?
it help you guys see it more?
I think it does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay then. Very good. Let me look here. I want to make sure I'm covering stuff. I got the grid style. Oh, markers. This is something like if I make this to be false, I think we've got markers being represented in properties. Some of the advanced stuff, is not. I think markers is on here. Yeah, it's on or off. If I take the markers off, you see that at each point it doesn't have a marker on there. Turn the markers on. Those are okay. I'm okay with that. Sometimes what I like and don't like, depending on what it is if I've got show values. Now, if I show values, what happens when I put true on there? Now, there is no, I don't think anyway, I didn't see it before. Let me show it. I don't think there's a show values on here. There's not. You got to go into the advanced properties. But I like to use that pragmatically. I'm going to show you how to do that in just a minute. But we got show values here. We can set that to true. And you see what it does there? It puts these little, at each marking point, it shows you what the value is that it's plotting, which can be helpful sometimes. But I think it's a detractor. So I like to keep it off unless I need it. So now we have the legend down here. And this legend, we have the item color set. You'll notice that I'm using the one from the line chart. It's using the line chart's color set. We set that with the FX property array that I set. And the series labels. Okay, so this line chart series labels, I can put things in that as well, I believe. If I click on it's the series it's the line 1 series labels, which means it's going to be the total sales. That's what I used in the chart itself. When I come in here to my series labels, you see that series labels is total sales. So there we have it. That's the first step right there. Now,
Okay.
I want to do some other slick stuff here. That's a line chart. Is everybody with me at this point?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward, isn't it? It's not hard to use. Just you got to have your data shaped, right? Now, I want to do a line chart using the other data that we had. So this represents the total stock sales. So we actually had to go and compute that. We didn't have a table out there in our table out there. In our cost sales, we're not storing total sales in here. This is a line item thing. So we actually had to do a summary of each one of the stock values. So we had Freddy's Fast Food and Windows and Bob's Burgers and all that. So we ended up doing a summary, but there is a version of a line control that I think would be good, especially for a stock market. You might be able to see prices of the stock at any given moment. That might be kind of an important thing to know. Sorry, guys, I'm getting my throat's getting dry here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm not liking the placement of this yet. Oop, that wasn't good. That's not what I want to do. Let me bring that up just a little bit there. It gives me a little bit more. Now, can I move this up a little bit? Is it going to let me? Sometimes, boy, I'll tell you, sometimes. What just happened here? I have no idea why that did that, but I'm going to go ahead and keep that right there for now. Bring that down here. Let me select on my container. That's what I want. There. That's what I want to do. Let me get him up just a little bit. Maybe bring him in just a little bit. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and make a copy of all this. Oh, I bet it put it right there in the container too, didn't it? It sure did. It sure enough did. Come out of here and hit Control V. There. Well, you just can't get a hold of it. There, hold still. There we go. It just won't hold still. All right, so I want to do. Let's. I'm gonna go with this. I actually need to shorten these down just a little bit, maybe, because I want to bring in a drop down box. Oh, I did it again. Kurt.
Now, Kurt, I know you're working with collections here, but we had a question, and I think it's great. I want to know this. So, would you be able to show with a simple list from SharePoint, if time allows, to hook this into these charts?
Sure. It's really the same process. If I could find a SharePoint list that I might have one, I just don't have. I don't know if I got one prepared that would actually work with our data. I could try it. I'll take a look though. But really, so what is the question then? What was the question?
So instead of well, I think maybe I could probably answer this person's question. So you're working with collections, okay? And your SharePoint list is a table of values. You could do a clear collect, create a you have a collection name there. You could have done clear collect, and then the second parameter of the clear collect would be your SharePoint list.
Exactly.
Just make sure you have all the field names the same as what you define in your collection there.
Exactly. So really, this right here, instead of doing this, I've got this collect here. You see the second parameter? All of this, let me expand my window here. This right here is all the second parameter. That could be replaced with the name of your SharePoint list. You got it brought in with your data source over here, right? You bring it in, and then you would just put the name down instead of all this stuff. This is just me hard coding something in there to show you to have something ready. But if you've got a SharePoint list out there, just put that in your collection. You don't need to put it in a collection. You can just bring your SharePoint list into the chart if you want to. Just put that in the items instead of this collection. You see, I got collection line chart here. In here, I can just change this if I can get to it. Right here in items, instead of call line chart, I could put my SharePoint data and put it right in there. And you could put a filter in there. You could do any kind of stuff you wanted to with that. So, but it's just a data source, and a collection is a data source. So I'm just using the collection at this point. But it is, I do most of my work in collections anyway. And if you're shaping your data, you're probably going to have to, unless you're going to have some kind of hard-coded table sitting out there and persistent data that you're going to use over and over and over again to shape your data. That's something you could do too. But oftentimes, when I'm shaping data, I just use a collection. It's faster, way faster. So, okay. What did I do again? I just keep messing up. This table over here just keeps messing up on me. What have I got a hold of here? Hold on, let me see what I got. What happens is I get to talking and then I get going. I'm like, oh yeah.
It's not easy thinking, programming, thinking about what you're going to say next, and
right. And I'm
yeah,
and I'm used to, as a teacher, I'm used to teaching, and I'm the only one doing the talking. And and it's like you guys shut up and listen to me. But that's not the way it works in this world, right?
Yeah.
It's just not the way it works here. So it's a little bit different for me.
Just let me know when it's my turn to talk.
It's your turn right now, Rick. You go ahead.
Hey, why was the strawberry why did the strawberry look worried? He was in a jam.
Mm-hmm.
Is that in your database app?
You know it is.
Container 1. Why do I have this? Oh, I don't have it in a container. I was looking for the container. I don't have that in a container yet. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me do something.
Now see.
Let me
look at that.
insert a container. You guys got to talking to me. Look, I can't. Remember how somebody said something about how I could just lay code really good? Yeah, but as soon as I start talking, it's over. I can't talk and chew bubble gum at the same time.
I was about to say, I'm going to send you a crate of bubble gum so you can add one more thing to do in the middle of this.
So we were talking about geese flying over, and one side of the V was longer than the other because there was more geese in it, right? Have you ever seen goose poo? You know what's in the middle of goose poo?
Can't say I have.
You've never seen it? Oh, any bird poo. You know what's in the middle of bird poo?
Poo.
More bird poo. Yep. That's what's in there. Scientific. Well, we can talk about dad jokes. So, okay. All right, let me go ahead and put this back in here. Now, that's going to be making me a little bit happier. But what we're going to do with this little gizmo guy is we're going to change his stuff. I want to put a drop-down list box up here.
Could you have taken your first container and, copied it over?
I did. I did originally. And then I copied it in a container. And then I got to talking to you guys. And then I deleted the container. And then I forgot I deleted the container. And then so it ended up being a hot mess. That's what it ended up being. So Darren's never going to want me to do this again. He's like, Kurt, you're not doing this anymore after this. Let's see. This is going to be okay. So in our drop down list box, I want to be able to pick our stock that we're working with. And this is pretty slick. I want to use, what do we call that? TBL stocks. Yep, right there. And look at that. Look at that drop down list box. Isn't that great? Just put it right in there for me. I love that. And I don't like that blue color right there on that drop down list box. In fact, I need to name that because I'm going to use that in code. I'm going to call it DRP stocks. And this chevron color, I don't like my Power App looking like a Power App. So I'm going to change that to gray. No, that's too light. Make that. That's better. That's a little better maybe. Okay. And so we've got that. I'm going to change this items. Click on items. Instead of call line chart, I'm going to say filter. Now the person that asked about the SharePoint, imagine this being a SharePoint list. Okay, this is persistent data. This is coming right out of our raw sales table. Okay, right now we're just doing our raw sales table. We're going to filter on TBL, not TBL stocks, COL sales. That's what we called that. Comma DRP. I'm sorry. ID. Nope. I want to call it name. Stock name. Yeah, stock name equals DRP stocks dot selected text dot name. Now, Darren, this is something new. I just noticed just now. Look at this. Remember, it used to be dot value there, right?
Yeah.
But now it gives us, we can do the actual field names as well as value. They just added that, I think, didn't they?
That's crazy. I thought that they deprecated selected text. They wanted everybody to start using dot selected to get at everything. But I guess if they're expanding the list here, yeah, we used to only have value, but now we got name and ID. So that's interesting.
It is. So we're just going to go ahead and try it. We're going to put name in there for now.
Now, are those the three properties in your collection? Does your collection, are those the three fields?
Two fields. The value is obviously the property of the thing, the thing of the selected text, right? Probably, I think. Let's see, I'm trying to get I got something. Oh, I got stuff. All right. So, okay, so let's see if that's working. Let's see this. Wonder World, Freddy's Fast Food. Well, my values aren't coming in right. Okay, and the reason why is because I haven't set my chart up yet. So I've got this. I'm in items. I got collections. Let's get this thing finalized yet though. It's not quite ready yet. We're going to do some sorting on this because we want this to go from left to right, like a ticker thing, you know. So I'm going to go ahead and do a sort on this.
Where are you at on that? It's
I am in the chart. This chart right here,
second
like
chart. Yeah.
the second chart. Yep. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to do a comma here, and I'm going to do date value because I put that into a text earlier on. So I'm going to do date value, data sale. Didn't I call that data sale? What did I call that?
Good.
Oh. Date sale, not date of sale. Okay. I was close. See, that's what happens when I talk. It all just derails after that.
Good.
Yeah,
Date
that's
sale. Okay, so now I'm gonna have sorted data, and we can see that based on this right here. Oh, I can't do my. Okay, I got to bring this down. Let me get this so I can toggle it back down a little bit so we can see things. Okay, so if you look down here below, you'll see I've got my dates. Can you guys see these dates? Maybe you can. They're sorted from 311, 312, 321 from left to right. So that was the effect that we were trying to get. Okay, so then we're going to come in here to my grid, my line chart, and we got to set this up because it's all fouled up right now. And what I'm going to do is go to my advanced, and I'm going to, instead of generated number being my series, I want it to be the price. I want it to be the price. Now look at that. Now it looks more like a stock market chart, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So if I run this, you'll see Freddie's got a whole bunch of sell points on here. I come over here to Windows Wonder World. I've only got 2 because you remember we're only generating 10 at a time. Let's create some more data here. Oh, look at that. Now we got Bob's Burgers got a bunch of data here. So each time it just depends on, you know, the number of sales is going to just depend on what was generated randomly. Kind of cool, huh?
Yes.
So far,
Yeah,
so good. Starting to look like a dashboard a little bit, ain't it?
Yeah.
Just a little bit,
Getting there.
like one. It's coming.
Starting to look like a golden egg.
Like a golden egg. Correlated golden egg. Okay, so so I want to do those. What was it? Show data. So let's do a toggle here. Let's get a toggle going here. How are we doing on time, Darren? We doing okay?
Yep, we are.
Okay. So much pressure. Okay. So okay, instead of looking up here, why don't I just do this? I'm gonna put a toggle right there. Oh, it didn't put it right there. Put it right there. That's a little bit. That's not elegant looking, is it? It's not elegant at all. Let's change that property. Let's go to properties and see what that font's looking like. Font size, let's make that 15, just a little bigger. Okay. And let's put a label in front of that, on top of it, I mean. Let's insert a label. Drag that bad boy right there. And let's put show values on that. We're going to show values. And we're going to call this, let's see, wait a minute. Let's get this a little bigger too. Bring that down just a little bit, maybe. I just absolutely can't. Love. I absolutely love that purple thing that keeps coming up every time. I love it, Darren.
Isn't that
It's so
helpful?
nice. Yes, it is. So helpful. See Microsoft, I'm being really nice. I'm saying really nice things about your stuff. Please help me with Teams and not let Teams be bad to me anymore, please.
I wish we
Please.
had an option just to turn all that purple stuff off that keeps popping up. It gets in the way
Yeah.
more than anything.
It really does. It just looks too big right there. I just don't like it. I'm trying to get happy here. There, that looks a little more elegant. Doesn't that look a little more elegant?
I can.
I think so. You know what? If it's not broke, fix it till it is. That's what I do. Oh, that purple thing. I love it. Okay. There we go. All right. We're going to change this toggle to TOG show values. Because what's the rule on that, Darren? What's the rule? With controls, naming controls.
If you're going to refer to the control in any expression or code, you should probably give it a meaningful name.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And TOG is a good naming convention for Hungarian notation right there. TOG. So now what I'm going to do in this is we've got a show values. If I'm in the right chart here, nope, there I am. And I come into this, there should be a show values. All there is, look at that, show values. And I'm going to put TOG show values dot value. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. Right? Yeah. There should be a show values. I'm going to put TOG show values dot value. Now, when I run this thing, it's kind of looking like a dashboard. Nope, it's not looking like a dashboard yet. It looks like a bad program because this container has no drop shadow. Shame on thee. Okay.
And we always go extra bold on that, don't we, Kurt?
Always. Don't even question it. Go bold or go home. That's what I always say, you know. And I don't like this. And see, look this. Look at this, Darren. Look at this. This is just atrocious. Look at this label. Look at that title. And we don't want that to be total stock sales because it's not total stock sales anymore. What we want to do is we want to put in the name of this, whoever's up here, whatever stock we're dealing with, right? And it's a price, isn't it? So let's put well, first of all, let's get to the thing. There it is, the thing. And then we go to text and we change this and we're going to say price for ampersand DRP stocks dot selected text dot name. And then that's done. So now look at this. Boy, it's starting to look like a dashboard, fellas. There's price for Windows Wonder World. Price for Freddy's Fast Food. Look at this. The stock's going way up on that one, isn't it? And in fact, you know what? We need to do that. We need to put stock price. That's not just any price. That's a stock price. Okay. So we have, so then we're going to show these values. Bam. Look at that. Turn them off. Bam. We turn them off. It's not a dashboard until you got some clicky things that you can put on there so people can feel like they're in a command center, You want this thing to look like they're in a cockpit, It's a dashboard. Dashboard for an F-16 right here. We got clickies here. Right. we got clickies all over the place. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
It's kind of nice, isn't it?
It is.
Okay. But we're not done. We're not
done?
I want to do one more thing. I want to do one more thing if we can.
Let's do it.
Okay. I'm trying to think this through a little bit here. So I want to put a different we've done a line chart here. I want to put a pie chart up there because And I want to use our summary data that we've got that we created in our data shaping, because this is kind of nice. You can kind of see where Freddy's is a little bit better than Wendy's, and Bob's Burgers have been sold more than, but that doesn't really tell us a lot. I think pie charts, when you look at portions of the whole, what slice of the pie, I think pie charts represent that pretty well. If you want to know who's got the biggest slice of the pie, it's really cool to put a pie out there so that you can see it, right? So let's go ahead and do that. And I think that makes a dashboard. And I also like pie charts.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you. I got to bring something else up. Darren, talk for a little bit.
Oh,
Can
wow.
you?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't got anything.
Yeah, that's what he does to me all the time. He does that to me all the time.
Oh my goodness.
What am I going to do?
What are we going to do? Look at my dashboard. Look at my dashboard.
How's your dashboard look?
Now, where
Your
did
dashboard
everybody
looks
go?
nice.
Oh, I got to drag this around. I'm just trying to figure out how to use the Restream tool. Now, I started. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
All right. So I started these notes over here, and whenever I've got an example of a dashboard, if I can call it this looks like a dashboard. So I just dropped the controls over on a screen. This is my checklist inspection app, and this isn't maybe the best example of a dashboard, but it's used as a dashboard. So they see pertinent data of what's going on, and it's filtered based on what needs their attention.
So it's like a dynamic report rather than.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
I got some other examples of some dashboards that were done inside of a Canvas app that are out there, and I think these look excellent. So I'll try to add to these, and if you guys look at the notes, I've got links. So if you wanted to either download this or find out who did this, and you can see their blog post or whatever, feel free.
Okay.
You ready to go again?
I think so. Hold on. Let me move you again. I got to move you again here. Okay. So this is
Would you be able to do the full screen thing?
No, because I'm going to have to change the things. I guess I can for now, if you want me to, if that helps. Does that help?
If you have a regular keyboard, it's just F11. Toggle.
I don't have a regular keyboard, so. This is a We Cheat 'em and Gouge 'em stock company expense tracker. Okay. Yep, the WCGS.
Yeah.
And what we've got here is just a bunch of numbers here I put in here. And if I look at here, this is kind of a use of, once I get something going here, let me try. I'm going to collect some data. This is kind of like a way of looking at like a dashboard. This is another version of a dashboard using pie charts and stuff like that. So I just kind of wanted to show you, this is data. Now, this is actually SharePoint. I'm actually in a SharePoint list. I'm pulling this data from a SharePoint list. So
there you go.
So there we have that. I just thought of that. But I kind of
feel like we should have led with this. This looks great, man.
Well, I didn't want to, because I this is something different. This is something different, Darren. You just don't give everybody everything.
Okay.
But
ever the fisherman, Kurt.
So
it was all one big tease.
The reason why I want to show this is that there's lots of different ways you can display charts to represent things. So we've got pie charts for the quarters. We've got pie charts. We got bar charts for the quarters. You can just do different stuff like that with it. And I just wanted to show that because it was a picture of something that I had done. Oh, but you know what I got to do? I've got to get out of this. Now, how do I? Okay, there I am. I don't have a regular keyboard, Darren.
He's got a stick shift over there.
It's a silly thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and put a pie chart on here. I'm going to put a little pie chart up here at the top, just a little thing to show the same deal we got here in a pie chart. Okay, so let's go ahead and insert a pie chart. Go down here to charts, and we got a pie chart. And you see we've got that same sample data that they put in. And I'm going to change that, some of this stuff here for now. In just a moment here. Let's go ahead, and since we've already got our data shaped, we're going to say it's basically not going to be much different than what we do with this line chart. We go in here, we go to items. Instead of pie chart, we're going to say COL line chart, right? Or is it line chart? Yeah. And now you see we got Windows Wonder World up here and Bob's Baby Burgers, and we've got all those green shades going on there too, right? I kind of don't like that. But remember, we've got the different series things. So let's see what we can do about that. Let's go to where is my advanced? It should be item color set. Yep, right there. You see that? And we're going to change that. Bring that to, it was FX Legend Colors. Look at that. Now we got our red, green, and blue there. See, it was just that simple.
Nice.
And so then I'm going to take these labels out of there because I think it's just too much. So and they've got this cool thing. This is a really cool thing, this explode. I'm going to put one here. You see how it comes apart there? Look at this. Look at that. It's kind of neat, huh?
Cool.
That looks like a chart for ants.
It does, doesn't it? It's elegant, though.
It's elegant.
It's elegant. And I'm going to change this legend. I'm going to go down to this legend. I'm going to change the font down to here, down to about 13. And I want to see if I bring that out to there, how far can I get away with it? Because what I'm going to do, show labels, no. I don't want to show labels. I'm going to make this smaller because I want this just to be small. I want this to be just a small little picture. I just want to show you guys you can do some pretty cool stuff with this. Bring this title down here. You can manipulate all this. Maybe we're going to call this total stock sales. Just to give you guys some ideas on some things that you can do. Font weight, I want to, I like bold, Darren. I like bold. just kind of partial to it, At some point, I'm going to get this thing figured out here. You just got to bear with me. Hopefully, I don't screw it all up. It's going to be done in a someday. Oh my goodness. Okay. I got to have it that wide. I did it. Okay, that's up there. Put that there. Now I got to move this button somewhere. I don't like the button now. You know what I'm going to do with that button? Yeah, I can't. We're on air. Okay. No, okay. And I'm going to move this up just a little bit more. Ooh, that's too small now. Jeepers.
All the OCD people look away. Content one.
Okay, that's close. That's kind of close to what I wanted to do. That's kind of close. So you can kind of see, you could make that really a small thing, like looking like, Darren, you've got your template, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know how you got your template heading going on. Not the big heading, but the small heading, the screen heading. You could put something like that in your screen heading. Something small that shows a little graph chart that people can see all the time. So you can have something there on any of your screens. Every one of your screens can end up being a dashboard at some point. So there's just different. I just kind of wanted to show that aspect of it.
I like it.
That's pretty much it. That's what I got. That's all I got, Darren.
Cool.
And I actually thought, because we were talking about this today, and I said, I need about an hour and a half. It's a little bit more than that. You didn't talk very much, so
I didn't want to throw you off your game. I had tons of things to say, but
well, let's go. Let's talk.
well, most of them were just jabs at you, but I didn't want to.
Thanks, Darren. Thanks.
So we'll just talk about, I think, what's so exciting about dashboards. So we've gone over line charts, pie charts. Well, I guess here on my screen, let me bring my screen over here. So these are the three. So this is a pie chart. This is a line chart, and the one in the middle is. Do you happen to know?
Well, you got a line chart in the middle, you got a pie chart, and you got a bar chart to the left.
Bar chart, yeah.
Or a column chart. I think if I do an insert, you're up.
Mm-hmm. I can bring yours over though.
No, it's okay. Just if you go to the charts, go do an insert charts, and you'll see I think it's called.
I'm not in PowerApps. I'm in that's a screenshot. So if you don't mind, go ahead and do it.
Okay.
Right.
It's a column chart.
Mm.
Right here. So you got line chart, pie chart, and you got a Power BI tile. So I guess you can bring a Power BI report into this thing if you wanted to.
I think Matt likes that.
That's where you could import the geographic location, to remind yourself where, Tokyo is or whatever.
Yeah, so you can pull in elements that you've done in Power BI and embed it right into your Canvas apps.
That's kind of cool too. So there's a lot of ways you can do it. Like I remember in early on when you and I were first start doing stuff together with these live streams, we did a live stream where we were making, what was it, a ticketing system that Microsoft had, where it had the round, it had little circles that had values in those circles. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's kind of a dashboard. That was a dashboard. I just think of, places where you can see like high level information. That's kind of what you're looking at in a dashboard. You want people to be able to see, or so that they can get their pulse on stuff. I think, did we talk about that last weekend? Because I got really excited. No, I don't think so. I think it was Sunday when I got really excited about the AI functions. We got some new AI functions, and I did a video on that, and we're going to be doing a bunch of videos on that. But imagine some of those AI functions could really be used for dashboards. Like there's a AI sentiment function which determines whether or not a customer's comment was good, favorable, unfavorable, or lukewarm. And that would be really good to put into a dashboard if you had a listing of you did a summary. If you counted the number of customers that had good things to say versus bad things to say, and you can do a percentage based on that, or you could do a dashboard that shows nothing but the negative ones. We always want to focus on the negative. Well, we got to fix things, right? So you could use something like that to show these are the customers that we need to worry about here because they got some negative feedback. So
I put down here, think of aggregation and summaries. So we're not interested in just one record. We want to take a subset of the data and think about totals and counts and sums and averages, medians. Help me out here. Statistic type of stuff, right?
Yep.
I never took statistics. You guys?
Yeah. So that's something I kind of want to do with our workshop is maybe work with some statistical information, like maybe doing averages and medians and modes.
What type of aggregation functions do we have inside of PowerApps? Count rows. I think there's also an account count if. There's an average, I believe. There's a sum. I mean, There's all
Yep.
kinds of stuff out there.
Average, sum, count, and then you can make your own too. You know,
That's true.
finding the median, finding the mode. Do we know what those are? Matt, Rick?
The median is you have a series. Whoa, I'm disappearing. So it's the middle number of a series.
It is. That's exactly right. And what's the mode?
Mode is the most common number in a series.
The highest frequency.
Highest frequency, right?
Yep. That's right. Good stuff, man. So you tell he's well educated, right? So you array your data from smallest to highest, and you find your middle point, and that's the median. And so it's really, I like when I'm doing charts. Every dashboard I've ever done with charts, I've always produced average, median, and mode, because oftentimes the average it's a misleading number. You know, let's say if I was doing bowling, if I went out there bowling and I couldn't break 100 most of the time, but one game, lightning in a bottle hit, and I got a 275, you know, well, now I walk around thinking, man, my average for 3-game series was 210. I'm pretty good. Dude, you can't even bowl 100 most of the time. So, but that average, that one game skewed the data, right? Mm-hmm. So you do something like you just said. You would have the median, and you find your middle point, and it would say, well, there's your middle. You get you divide it by 2, and you find your middle, and there you got. It's a better representation sometimes, especially if the data is not very big. You know, if you don't have a lot of data points.
Yeah.
You know, and if you got a lot of data points, it's really good to find the mode. You know, because you got those outliers, but most commonly it hits here, right? So I like to represent all 3 of those statistical information points in my charts. You know,
I've got a visual for you guys here. Just take me a moment. And this is from a post in the Microsoft community that I found. I'll include this link in the notes, and I'm going to put the link here. So it shows examples of the aggregate functions. Okay, so we have max. Now, this is funny. They use a concatenate function where you could just use an ampersand and be done with it, one character, to splice 2 strings together. But we've got max, we've got min, sum, average, standard deviation, p, the variation. So that's what I saw out of that, and I'm trying to come up with more of a definitive list. Here's a link from Microsoft Learn. So I'll go down here to my outline. And so the aggregation and summaries, these functions here. And there that is. I'll create a bookmark, and I'll actually bring this up here. So this, like, if you're trying to figure out, hey, what should I do here to, you're trying to come up with some ideas for a good dashboard. Well, go through the aggregate functions. Okay, average, max, min, sum. So maybe those are, is that a full list? We got examples down here. Okay. Go back to the notes, and let's look at some examples here. So this is a great example of a dashboard that I really like. Now, it doesn't have charts all over the place, but it has 2 progress bars, and it shows me exactly what I want to see. So this is an onboarding application. This is a Canvas PowerApps template that Microsoft provides. And if you use it, you'll probably have to do a lot of fixing things up because they're a bit old. But look at this. Here's my profile, and I'm trying to get onboarded. Here's my name, my title, shows me my progress, write in an about me email, all this. So here's a to-do list. So I need to complete my W-4 form and all this other stuff. It shows me which ones are done, and it gives me a progress bar. Then we got quick resources and tabs at the top. I think it's a great dashboard. What do you guys think of this?
Nice.
Yeah.
On a scale from 1 to 10, what do you have for us, Rick? 6.5?
Boy, you read my mind. That's exactly what I was about to say. 6.5.
Wow.
6.5.
What do you say, Matt, on this dashboard?
Yeah, I'll stick with Rick.
Okay.
It's organized, but there's not very much color.
All right.
And do you like this, Kurt, or you think it's a little lackluster for you?
I like it. I like it for the organization, but for the opposite reason that Matt thinks. I don't like a lot of color, some color, because too much color I think brings the eyes away from the data. There's too much data there. There's just too much stuff there. If I'm thinking of a CEO looking at this, man, they're going to say, I don't have time to look at this. they're going to look at that for about 3 seconds. They're going to say, no, get away. You know? Yeah. Look at their assistant. Hey, what's that say?
Let's look at. Oh my goodness, what happened? I think I accidentally hit some type of a narration. Did you guys hear that?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
I did hear something. But.
So here's my checklist inspection app. I'm not gonna act like this is a super duper great dashboard. Now these look great, and something that people get excited about is they got like a dark color, and then the bright colors on the foreground or the fonts or the charts.
Contrast.
If you can put in a map of something and put little pins on it or something, people love that.
Eat that up.
You know, so if this is a C-arm system, maybe I'd want to see a world map and little points where all my customers are from. And visually I can say, oh yeah, most of them are from Canada or some other country. So have you guys seen any dashboards that you've seen and you really like and think are great? Or any applications that we use that you feel that have a great. Let's look at PowerApps itself. Does PowerApps itself have a dashboard? Well, let's go home. We got all kinds of stuff. What do you want to do on the home screen? Well, you probably want to create a new app, or you might want to open up an existing app, or maybe you're trying to learn. It's got everything that I would expect, like getting started, a home type of thing. So that's where you want to be mentally is, hey, what are the types of things that they want to, what are the questions that the user's asking right when they come to the dashboard? It might be, what things are assigned to me? What do I need to do here? That type of stuff. You got something to show us, Kurt?
I do. Whenever you're done. Yeah. It's not that important. So this is another. This is actually a lab from an accelerator. Mark's going to know it pretty well. But somebody had asked, can you plot more than one line together? And I did. Yes, you can. It's just about shaping your data. Again, you're gonna make sure that you shape your data so that the chart can understand it. So understand that you've got 3 series and you got to be able to put that in there. 3 different series: player 1, player 2, player 3. And it's just a matter of just plotting it after that. So just wanted to answer that question.
Are you at liberty to show us any more of your lab stuff?
Well, what would you like to see?
Visuals, or just like take it for a spin, and like I think you got some random stuff in there. So this is lab 3, right? What's that?
Yeah, this is lab 3. Yeah.
Now your face just lit up. I want to see what you're thinking of as
Well,
that
I mean,
smile appeared on your face.
here's some of the code if that's what you're wanting to look at here. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I do want to kind of show we do stuff in here. This is shaping data at a high level, as Mark will be able to tell you because he's done this. And there is a lot of data shaping going on here. So I'm not really, this is just kind of a quick tour of what shaping data can look like. Of course, the green stuff is just me coding stuff out, and that might actually be the end of it right there. Yeah. But this right here, okay, so I just kind of want to show you. I've got this thing called game history here. It's a collection. It's just a game history, and it's just taking, if I look at the collection game history right now in the data, I've got player 1, player 2, and player 3. Now, that gets mapped if I change the names. Let's say if I do this, if I run this, and I put Kurt, Darren, and Matt. Okay. See, that all gets changed. Huh?
I wasn't invited to play.
All right. Here, you can have my spot, Rick. I just invited you. I'm a terrible bowler anyway. So then we go bowling. Oh, you know what? This isn't working because I got to reset it. I got a bug in here, fella. Okay, here we go. Now let's run it.
Say it ain't so.
There we go. Look at that. Look at that pie chart going. See, Darren was winning, and now he's not. Now he's starting to even out a little bit. Total wins. Darren's got 4, Matt's got 3.
Why did I even show
Oh, Darren just won again. Oh, Matt won again. Rick, okay, Rick just won. He's getting mad. Oh, no, he's on a roll. Oh, Darren.
There we go.
Now notice that this thing gets more and more. It's a game history. It's the individual games, right? So let me reset this again. Let me show you this. Okay, so you go bowling, and it starts off. You see, we got the dates. Actually, this is the time because we're plotting times here, but we're going to be clicking quite a bit, right? So I click it again, and we got more times. And it just keeps adding to this. Isn't that kind of cool? But now watch what happens. After a while, it gets to a point where those numbers it doesn't make sense to even have them anymore. So you take them out. Look at that. Kind of nice, huh? But so it's just a matter of shaping your data so that your series. So these series, I guess I'm trying to explain that. That's the whole reason why I brought this up, was so that people could understand that question about, can you put more than one thing so you can compare? Yeah, I've got comparison in all of these, but
and this is one of the labs.
Yeah, this is actually lab 3. Right. Yeah. But you'll see I've got number of series right here, and in my advanced, I've got player 1, player 2, and player 3, and that's how you compare it. And you got to make sure that you've got your data in there. So, as the data could be 50,000 plus after filters, do you have any recommendations? So, do you got to display 50,000 records at a time?
So there was a message before that.
Okay.
I'm creating currently a customer list generator app, which is based on Dataverse. On the left side, I'm having a list of attributes in equals to, so customer can have several filters. I think this was the one that you saw. As the data could be big, 50K plus after filters, do you have any recommendation? I need somehow to create a collection or just a gallery so I can represent the data in a bar chart dynamically.
Okay. So my question was, do you have to see that data all at once, those 50,000 records? Is there a way to summarize that a little bit? Darren had an example that's coming to my mind one time. Somebody said they had, you had people from all kinds of, all the states. They're doing a nationwide thing. And they were saying, and there's way over, 10,000 records nationwide. And Darren says, well, how about per state? Can you just show one state, or can you show two states, or a zip code, something like that? Things like that narrow it down. I thought that was a pretty good example, Darren.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe you've got to look at, no, ideally I need the filter after all filters, but I am struggling to do all those. And okay, and a Norse together. Yeah, those are fun.
What I what I would suggest for you, Jose, is if you have access to SQL Server, you could create a join and a view you call a store procedure that will do all that aggregation and number crunching, and it would just return the aggregate numbers, and you wouldn't have any issues with delegation at all. But you said that you are using Dataverse, which is, of course, much better than SharePoint. You can still create some views in Dataverse. So you could, I would probably steer you that direction. Create a view inside a Dataverse, and then reference that view that aggregates the data. And I think you'd have a winner there. And I'm trying to find some more visuals for you guys so we can look at and discuss different types of dashboards. So over here in the notes, Kurt actually brought this one up. This is a service desk application. And he's saying, oh, sort of like a dashboard. So we don't have any charts or anything, but we have aggregation of data up here. And if I would have designed this, maybe you see we got these filters on the side. These numbers could be over here on the side, and then you could have more space up there. And let's see here. Brock says, with my model-driven inventory application, I was thinking on changing over to Canvas to use the Office 365 groups for being able to make the app dynamic. Now you can make charts with connectors. Okay. And then how many people have checked out equipment? Yeah, I would say we could do. Now, Kurt and we don't. I've done some model-driven applications. I don't like model-driven very much, so I try not to talk about it. I also feel like I'm not an expert in model-driven. So you'll see me not say much about the model-driven end of things. But if it's Canvas apps, maybe we could go over something like that, in the workshop. I need a little bit of time to prepare for it. A great tool, if you're going to create dashboards, you need a lot of data that you can aggregate. And what I recommend is a website called Mockaroo. Yeah. Learned about that through Matthew Devaney, and I'm going to share that link in the chat. And this allows you to generate some great sample data. And I'm also going to put it in the notes down at the bottom for references and I should say things to check out. So that's in the show notes. Let's see what else. So Kurt, you brought up this dashboard that was a part of the service desk. What do you like or don't like about this dashboard?
I actually love it as a dashboard.
Really? Okay.
We talked about charts, but dashboards aren't all about charts. You said it's about aggregated data. It's really about aggregated data. And when we say aggregated, that means rounded it all up into a summary. And look at those 5 numbers at the top right there. They're all aggregated. We know at a glance, and they're big. The numbers are big. There's not a lot of data that's getting in the way of seeing what's important here. And it's a true dashboard to me. That is a dashboard. And if you want to see something more than just those numbers, you can look at the drill down below it. So
absolutely,
I love it as a dashboard. It doesn't have charts. Now, wouldn't that be cool if you could put little pie charts across there or something, maybe or somewhere in there.
Cool.
But
we can't bother those Power BI report guys for little reports like this. Why not create them yourself here inside of it?
right. But for a dashboard, I love the where you can just at a summary at a glance you can see you get a pulse on your whole whatever it is you're dealing with, your whole business, right?
Yeah. Not only in a dashboard you want to aggregate data, but you want to think about KPIs, key performance indicators, and there's another acronym, OKRs. I don't know much about OKRs, but my wife tells me it's like the new KPIs. So any type of metrics that managers would be interested in seeing, or the users would be interested in seeing, little metrics. Let's say for these tickets, maybe I'm logged in and it's going to show me the average response time I have to a ticket, maybe just to initially reach out to the customer. Then I've got a time of like how long it takes me to close a ticket. And then a manager can have a dashboard showing who's your best performer, who fills tickets,
Or who's your worst.
Yeah. I think that, OKR, Jose says objective key results. Thank you. And there's nothing that would, if you want to sell a manager on using PowerApps or impress them, give them what they want. They want these KPI, key performance indicators, and these objective key results and aggregation. They just want to see a nice summary of what's going on. Now, if you're driving a car, do you want a transparent body of a car? Not that I've ever seen one, and for a real car, but you don't care what's going on underneath the hood. You just want a nice dashboard, and the dashboard is going to tell you what your instrumentation. You're going to see the RPMs. You're going to see your speed, how many miles you have, any temperature fluctuation. You get these lights come on that maybe your engine's getting a little too hot. All these things. I mean, that's a real life dashboard right there that, if you drive a car, you're very used to having, so think about it that way. When people use an application, they don't need to see all the data. Just give them little summaries. Yeah, go ahead, Kurt. Go ahead.
So you just talked about the dashboards, and you know what? I'm old school where dashboard was just, you had your RPMs, you had your speedometer, your gas, your heat, and your oil. That was it. But now I've got this Silverado. This thing has these, you got to hit this button. You see how many miles per gallon you're getting for the last 30 miles. You got your air pressure on your tires. You got so much stuff on there.
How many miles to a recommended oil change?
Right. I'm just trying to get from point A to point B without crashing here. I just need to, I don't have time to get down here and look at all that, man. So it's almost like it's a drill down. It's like too much, man. So I guess the reason why I wanted to interject that, Darren, was because I try not to have that tendency that you want to put more information out there. Sometimes more is not a good thing, right? Keep it simple.
Yeah. Yeah, you might want to have a limit to how many things you're showing them in the dashboard. Absolutely. Look at just over the years, how much dashboards have changed over the years. And you say, oh, they changed a lot. But, come on. We're still displaying the odometer, speedometer, tachometer, the temperature, how much fuel. That's at the core, the common denominator across the years, all makes and models and that type of stuff. So
yeah,
if they had put a bunch of stuff in there, maybe people wouldn't buy them. They look at the dashboard. Oh my goodness, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go with a different one. So yeah, used to be a tech, and it's all sensors reporting to a central brain, and if stuff is out of parameters, to turn on the check light. Like that. When I worked at a state agency, all their service desk technicians sat in this room, and they had a projector, and the whole wall was filled with dashboards. The speed of the internet. So people go, oh, I can't access the internet, and they look up, and you're like, well, everybody's experiencing that problem based on this dashboard up on the wall, so they know what's going on. They can respond appropriately to situations as they have this information. So there's like a sweet spot between too little information, too much information, and making it accessible and visually, allow somebody to visually process it quickly so they can make a decision. And super basic breakdown. Right. Kurt, I want to thank you for, sharing what you did here. And guys, if you have any topics now, so the workshop next Friday will be more of getting into the, we're expecting you to get in there, start creating some cool dashboards and whatever project that you're currently working on or you want to work on, and we'll help you with those. But we'll have more examples to go over and even more concepts. So you can always reach us at, I'm going to bring up our email address here at the top. You can always reach us at support@Neese. It's at the very top of the screen. It's listed right there. You want to join our community? I actually created a third school community, guys. Can you believe that? And I'm offering a membership for $1 right now. I even had a chance to talk to you about this, Kurt. Now, the price is going to go up, but let me bring this up. So right now you can get in at $1. If you click on the community tab right now on the YouTube channel, what you'll see is that post and then a link directly to that. And what it's going to be is I'm going to create a PowerApps, a Canvas PowerApps application template from scratch, and it's going to be 10 times better than my Jumpstart kit. And the people in that community are sort of going to drive the features in there. And what I'm going to encourage is that everybody shares their tweaks and their improvements to the files that I'm producing, and we can share these, and then we can build full apps based on that template and make them available to all the other members. So over time, so right now I'm thinking, now if you get in at $1 a month, that's all you're going to pay for forever, in perpetuity. You're always going to pay what, so you can be grandfathered in at whatever amount that you come in at. So I would recommend you guys click on it now. $1 is sort of cool for the value that's going to be. So we're talking like today. If you get in today, you're just going to spend $12 a year to get all these application templates that we're going to build, and then tomorrow it might be $2, and I'll increase it by $1 at a time. So I'm strongly considering just raising it once a day, maybe once every 2 or 3 days. So I just thought I'd share that.
Hey, that's less than the price for a cup of coffee.
Coffee.
Yeah.
You can recover Kurt from his.
That's the only reason I said
it. Who's got the power now, Darren? Who's got the power?
I don't find that the least bit.
I've got the power. I guess Kurt doesn't sing when he's got potato chips in his mouth.
Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to. You've already got me doing that.
I was expecting you to sing there. No, I do have something. So every once in a while, you guys were here to talk about the accelerator program, and maybe not everybody wants to know more about it. It's not for everybody, but I do have some information to share with you guys about it.
Has been the key ingredient for the hundreds of people that we've helped dominate in their organization. With this one skill, you're able to simplify processes for countless tasks like tracking leads, doing inspections, logging attendance, booking desks in a shared office, generating reports, tracking employee performance, and the list goes on. If you have a project that you need to get done, or you're an IT professional or a developer, or if you plan to eventually do some freelancing work with Microsoft Power Apps, I am literally the only person you need to accomplish your goals. tools. Spreadsheets and all the old ways of doing things are becoming redundant, and the people who are able to build Power Apps are going to accelerate their professional career so much faster than everyone else who's okay being average. I have over 20 years experience as a software developer and have been working in Power Apps for over 3 years. We have lots of course material for you, but if you're eager to accelerate your expertise with Power Apps at a much faster pace and want to work directly with me, this is what me and my team are going to do for you. Number one, we're going to figure out exactly what projects and skills you're working on and the overall end goal. Number two, we're going to get clear on exactly what data sources are needed for your projects. If it's a particular project with a deadline, we're going to work with you to make sure that you meet that deadline. And number four, we're going to work with you to make sure that you master the platform. So not only can you finish any projects that you're currently working on, but the projects that come up in the future. And you might want to take those skills and become a freelancer in the future. If that sounds like something that you're interested in and you want to expedite the process of being able to build apps that can literally be used for years, and you want to be an important asset to your organization and any future companies you work for, click the button below and we can have a 15-minute chat about what you're needing and how we can help.
And YouTube thinks you're going to like this video next. Let's see if they're right. Or you can select this playlist, which I've selected for you based on the content you're currently watching. Guys, gotta hurry, click one of them. Otherwise, YouTube's gonna autoplay some other video.
Got the power, Darren? Who's got the power? I got the power!